Hey, what's up, YouTube? JayDub here to talk about a couple of topics that has been requested that I talk about. While watching this video, make sure you comment. Let me know what you think. Give me your opinions. Give me your views. Give me your thoughts. All of that good stuff. And like I said, this is a request video. So with your regular comments, why not just, type in if you have any requests, like for topics you want me to talk about in the video. Okay, thanks. Getting into this video, first topic I'm going to talk about is the Brian Kendrick. He has been released by WWE. I can't say that this has come as a surprise to me, and actually I'm happy that it happened. Now, I know a lot of people may be saying, why are you happy that it happened? Let me explain. The Brian Kendrick. We all know, or at least some of us know, that Brian Kendrick is a pretty talented wrestler, a pretty talented superstar. I've been following his career in WWE since he came to the company in 2003. He debuted as Spanky, back when he was on SmackDown, trying to do everything possible for him to impress the then general manager Stephanie McMahon to try to get on the roster. Okay. Then he goes into a tag team with Paul London. A couple of years pass. He leaves WWE, comes back in a tag team with Paul London. Then in 2008, he develops this new persona, the Brian Kendrick. Back then, I would have thought the world was in his hands. The possibilities were limitless, and he was even in WWE Championship Scramble match. But somewhere along the lines, something turned, something went bad, and it resulted in him basically becoming a jobber on TV. Yeah, I don't know where it went bad, myself, but I can only say what I heard, and I heard that he was a weed head, and while the only trouble that you get in for smoking weed in WWE under the wellness policy is you get to pay a fine, like no strikes on your record or anything. If you're doing something that your boss doesn't agree on in a company like WWE in the wrestling business, when a lot of things are based on politics, hey, you have to be in like tip top shape on your P's and Q's if you want to prosper in your career. And maybe he didn't want it bad enough, or maybe it was something deeper. We don't know, and we can only speculate. But there's no speculating. He's gone from the company now, and like I said, I'm glad that he's gone because I know he's a lot talented than what they used him as, and hopefully he can go on to a company that sees his talent, wants to utilize that talent. So yeah, I do, and this is truthful, not like the sarcastic WWE. I do wish the Brian Kendrick, or Brian Kendrick, whatever, Spanky, whatever his name is now, I do wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. Okay. And also, like I said, I wasn't surprised by it. The reason I wasn't surprised by it is basically he's been playing the role of a jobber, and you knew it was going to happen sooner or later, and it ended up happening later because I think WWE had an idea that they wanted to release the Brian Kendrick, and they just waited so long because basically they just wanted to have him on TV and embarrass him. And I'm thinking, could he, like, could Chavo Guerrero suffer the same fate as the Brian Kendrick? I don't know. That may be going a stretch to say that Chavo Guerrero is gonna get released, but I honestly don't know. It looks like he pissed somebody off if he's jobbing to a little person. Like, seriously, he pissed somebody off. Like, there's no other explanation of that. He pissed somebody off, somebody with some power in that company. But yeah, next topic I'm going to talk about, this last episode of Raw, this Shaqualicious episode of Raw. I didn't record a video of it on Monday as I usually do, and I will get back to that same schedule, uploading videos after Raw goes off the air. I just missed 1 week. So, yeah, this episode, it was a pretty good episode. Wasn't excellent, but I did enjoy watching this episode. It was a lot better than the last episode where they had ZZ Top as a guest host, and this situation, it's probably the best case scenario. It's probably the best that they will ever get out of this celebrity guest host thing. They got so much publicity off of Shaq being in the company, and they ended up getting like a 4.0 rating. But yeah, probably even better than a 4.0 rating. I saw them everywhere. Like, I'm watching the local news, and they're on the local news. Hell, this didn't even happen when Donald Trump supposedly bought Raw. Like, I saw Chris Jericho, Crime Time, and and Big Show and I saw all of them on the news, and one funny thing, like, this is kind of getting off subject, but the when when JTG went to, JTG and Shad went to go help out, Shaq, when him and Big Show were like facing off. After that went off, one of the news anchors here, she was like, "Oh, well, who was the little guy? Was that his partner? Coming to help out Shaq?" That just shows you how big the Big Show and Shaq are when you call a 6'1" man like JTG is. Well, at least that's his build weight. This is build height, but you call a 6'1" guy a little guy. So anyway, back to the subject. They got a lot of publicity. It was a pretty good show. Shaq, he did everything right that ZZ Top did wrong. Like, I actually got the references that Shaq, gave out. I actually know who Shaq is. I know why he's famous. I'm familiar with his work. Yeah, he incorporated, or at least WWE incorporated him into the storylines well. And it came off pretty good. So, yeah, I'm still not a fan of this whole celebrity guest concept, but if they're, like, it looks like they're going to continue doing it, not going to have any changes. If they continue doing things like this, I won't have too much of a problem with it, but like I said, this is probably the best case scenario. One thing that annoyed me about Raw, they have this 5-person beat the clock sprint challenge, whatever the hell his name is. They have MVP, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, Triple H, John Cena in it. You know for damn sure that MVP, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry are not winning that challenge. You knew it was going to come down to Triple H or John Cena, and the winner of that challenge goes on to face Randy Orton at SummerSlam. You knew John Cena or Triple H was going to win that match, and John Cena did end up winning the #1 contender spot. Why do they basically insult our intelligence like this? You don't build up people to be on the main event level. So basically, it's like when you have things like this, you just throw motherfuckers in there, like whatever, because none of them are going to win anyway. And as bad as this situation was, it didn't even hardly compare to that whole tournament, for the Night of Champions tournament, when you have 4 fucking people in a tournament. How the hell are you going to call that a tournament when you have only 4 people? But anyways, I digress. Why not do something? No, I don't digress. Why not do something like they do on SmackDown? Why not put, an up-and-coming guy into a heavyweight championship match? Do like they did with John Morrison and Jeff Hardy. Even though John Morrison didn't win that match, it still ended up being a damn good match. And it's ended up coming off well, and we got a little bit of variety on SmackDown, which we are not seeing on Raw. It's Triple H, John Cena, Randy Orton over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, what is the logic behind WWE placing John Cena and Randy Orton in another match for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam when we've seen this match over and over again? Like, do they honestly think that people aren't going to buy SummerSlam if the big heavy, big main event guys are not in the match? Like, honestly, for the people that are thinking about buying SummerSlam, are you more likely to buy it now that it's John Cena versus Randy Orton? Would you not buy it if it was Randy Orton versus Jack Swagger, or Randy Orton versus MVP? Would you not buy it? Because it seems like that's the logic behind what WWE is doing and the decisions that they're making. If you make new stars, you won't have to worry about people complaining. That's the way I see it. It's like you want to say, oh, these guys aren't ready for the main event yet, and the fans are going to, pitch a bitch if we put them in the main event. Why not make them ready for the main event? So it's like you're causing your own problems. So, yeah, I did watch SmackDown. People wanted me to talk about SmackDown. SmackDown, pretty good show, not a great show. And I'll say that as a whole. Like, this episode was pretty good, but SmackDown as a whole, it's nothing that like grabs my attention. Like, even though Raw sucks sometimes, even though it fails, at least they take chances. At least they try to venture outside of the box. So, sometimes it works, sometimes, and it seems like most of the time it is failing. But SmackDown is just a basic wrestling show. I know a lot of people may see that as a good thing. I want a little bit of a pop. I want a little bit of interest, and it's, it just shows you the times that we are in like the state of WWE, when a basic wrestling show is, when people are saying that a basic wrestling show is excellent. The only reason I think people say it's excellent is because we're presented with crap at every other point throughout the week. So, a show that's not even great can be seen as excellent, just, put because it's put into comparison with the other stuff. But yeah, I don't want to discount SmackDown because it is a good show. But yeah, it's not great. They don't take chances on there. I need to see a little bit more from SmackDown. It seems like the storylines are so basic. But one thing, I did kind of detect a chance. That's why I'm loving the CM Punk heel turn. I'm detecting a change when it comes to CM Punk being heel. But it's even with that, it's some confusing things that happen. Like I don't understand how CM Punk is a heel, yet he's promoting a straight edge lifestyle. Like, he's telling people don't do drugs and people are booing him. I don't understand that. But yeah, like Jeff Hardy, this was a quote from Jeff Hardy on this last episode of SmackDown. He says, "If everybody in the world was like CM Punk, what a boring world it would be." Yes, it would be so horrible, Jeff Hardy, if nobody did drugs or nobody drank alcohol. And we're just going to ignore that. And yeah, it's about time that I end this video. Let me know your thoughts on everything, and peace out.